Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm just gonna let this song run. What did I... Ooh. Bruh. Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins? Primetime Kirk Cousins? I wore my fucking Boondock Saints shirt. Fucking murking out there. Not even kidding you. That was absolutely crazy. Honestly. Eagles played out of control. Fuck the Vikings. A lot of shit went down. I guess I should probably cut this fucking music off at some point. Ooh, the fade out. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Angry Black Quarterback. I am your host. I am the Angry Black Quarterback, but I never actually played quarterback besides flag football and in the backyard. Welcome, everybody. Today we got a good show. We're gonna have Garen come back. He was our guest yesterday. He's gonna come on pretty early, quick. He's making money moves, man. He's moving around like Rick Ross. So we got to get him on and then out real quick. But we got to catch up with him about what happened with Trey Lance. Jimmy G's back in. I know he's a Jimmy G boy, so we'll see what his take is on that. We're also gonna have Joseph 2.0, and we will have Andy, my host or co-host on Talk Shit or Get Off the Pod, which we did yesterday, which was a day behind. Life's crazy. Birds played Monday night and absolutely destroyed the Vikings. Now they're placing us at third place in the power rankings. Honestly, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Everyone talked about how we were going to be shitty. They looked really, really good. Then we watched Justin Herbert lose the game on Thursday Night Football. Lots to talk about. But yeah, I'm going to start off before we have anybody on. I just kind of want to run my fucking mouth about that game that we got to see. Jalen Hurts, and I've been saying this, if Jalen Hurts plays like that, the Eagles are going to be so hard to beat with the amount of talent we have on the O-line, the playmakers we have on the outside. If he's making reads like that, like there was so many passes. I mean, and Devontae Smith had no catches in the first game. His Slim Reaper's fingerprints were all over this, top to bottom. But I mean, I even said, I've been saying for a while, like, that's going to be tough. We could easily lose that game. I said that last episode. I think Joseph's 2.0's computer, his robot, said for us to bet against it. I think I told him not to, because fuck that. You don't bet against the birds. But, yeah, absolutely wild, crazy game. And for how good the Vikings looked against the Packers week one, how on point they were. I mean, Darius Slay should have like 6 picks. I mean, I think about where they are on their free agents. I mean, we've seen Kazir White at least tip one pass. He was making plays everywhere. But first game, one of our free agent signings tips a pass that gets intercepted by another one, returned for a touchdown. I mean, these guys are everywhere. They're talking about bringing in Jason Pierre-Paul to replace Derek Barnett, who tore his ACL. Honestly, I like Barnett. I wanted him to be more. Everyone said he was going to be more. You know, SEC, great defensive end, Reggie White, blah, 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 and he's kind of trash. So he's good, but he's nothing more than a rotational player, not worth the first-round pick we took him for. We probably could have let him go and just signed somebody and had someone else in camp, because we're not re-signing him. This is the last year, I believe, of his rookie deal. So he's just going to now come off an injury and walk, which is fine. Best of luck. I hope he recovers. But, they're talking about bringing in JPP. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, I got to sign this fucking war horn. Like, get the fuck out of here. And I like how these Cowboys fans right now, and I'm going to dog y'all a little bit. I'm riding this wave, and I'm in a good mood. I felt bad about Dak, but this bullshit that I've been hearing around here, how now that Cooper Rush is going to make them somehow relevant, they're going to somehow make a playoff push, and the team's better than they were when they have Dak. Get the fuck out of here. What type of stupid shit is that? The Cowboys only put up 3 points, all of 3 points in the second half of that game. The amount of ball control that Joey Burr had all over that defense in the second half, they didn't finish some of those drives, but I could pull it up. The fucking the time of possession was absolutely absurd in the second half, and all they did was get that field goal at the end of the game. Did they win it? Sure. Are the Bengals struggling right now? Absolutely. Did they look really bad week 1, 2? Abso-fucking-lutely. But get out of here. If you think Cooper Rush is going to step up and somehow take these Cowboys team to the playoffs and beat that Eagles team, not even being biased, just beat that team, that group of dogs, regardless of where they were from, any team, that's like saying the Cowboys are going to go out and beat Miami right now. Probably not going to happen. Defense looks good. Of course, I mean, no one would dispute that Parsons is an absolute monster, because he's a fucking beast. I honestly wanted the Eagles to take Parsons, and then they didn't, and we ended up with Devontae Smith. So I was like okay with the okay, like if we're not gonna get him, at least we have somebody who's gonna make an impact, somebody who's gonna be good. But I mean, Parsons, I mean, he played at Penn State, so anybody who's a Birds fan or has any affiliation with, and I'm not even from Pennsylvania, but if anybody has some sort of affiliation with that, they know who Micah Parsons is. Sometimes I call him Chandler Parsons. I think that Justin Timberlake motherfucker who is like kind of good at basketball for a little bit. But when you think about what we saw from that Cowboys team, I mean, their defense is great. Their offense is not that good. Zeke does not look that good. That Eagles team looks fucking good. Like, hate to break it to you, and I know I'm kind of tooting a horn right now, and you can fucking get over it. Warhorn again, because this Birds team is like fucking coming, and they're young. We haven't paid anybody. We got 2 first-round picks next year. I mean, if like I'm saying, if Jalen Hurts plays even close to that, 80% of what we saw him do, he's gonna be extremely difficult to beat. And if you disagree, like, please shoot me a message, tell me I'm wrong. But I was super, super impressed, not just as an Eagles fan, but being like, damn, like, they're really moving the ball around. He's just making the correct reads. He threw that bomb, and it was what, 20? We have people popping in too. Awesome. Throws that bomb of a pass. And then next thing you know, after that he's 10 for 10 for 154 and a touchdown or in a tutty, and then he runs for 2. That interception was kind of fluky. They looked so good, and the defense was blitzing. Man, that's going to be tough. We're going to learn a lot about the Giants and Cowboys based off this Monday Night Football game. If it's really sloppy, if it's low scoring, then I think they're both trash. But if it ends up being pretty good, like a high scoring game, we'll learn a lot about the offense of New York. When it comes to that, because I'm sorry, Cooper Rush has played 2 games. He looked okay. They got dominated in ball control, time of possession, first downs, basically everything except for stopping them on that last drive. And there were some questionable calls going into it. I don't like to be that person, but there were. So you take all that into account. I have no reason to think that, well, could they continue to get better? Like, what's his name? Anthony Brown or Anthony Edwards, that guy, is that the guy who's the receiver for the Cowboys? That dude's all over the place. That dude's fucking legit. I watch him running around. That dude is fucking good, and he's making plays. So there's some people, but I mean, Schultz has got a dinged up knee right now, still banged up on the offensive line. So we'll just see what transpires. But good Lord, like, I am so, hold on, I gotta get a. Because I watched that game, dude, and that was absolutely mind-blowing. And then the amount of interceptions. And Kirk Cousins, man, I feel so bad. Like, I feel so bad if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan. I genuinely feel bad for you just because, like, you guys have stacked rosters. Like, you guys build some fucking teams, have some good defensive players across the board. I mean, how many good, now they have Patrick Peterson. He blocked a field goal. And then the guy returning it got caught by the snapper. Interception. Absolutely absurd. I feel awful if you're a fucking Vikings fan. Cowboys, I mean, we'll see. I'm not a believer. And yeah, man, Birds looking clutch as fuck. I think Garen's in here. So if Garen's in here, I want to get him on. We got to talk, because Niners, they had Trey Lance go down. So Trey Lance hurt his ankle, broke it, has a DAC injury to it. I mean, I don't know if it was a compound fracture, but I mean, I don't think that picture was as bad as Dak's, but if you look at the picture when he's laying down, I mean, his ankle's just limp. You can tell, like, that's definitely broken. I feel really bad for the kid. But, and then Jimmy G comes in, starts throwing dots, takes it all the way, takes it next level to where people are, oh shit, Josh Pasellik, what's up, man? Watching us on Facebook. Good to see you, man. You hate to see Trey Lance go down with an injury like that, but how often do you have someone like Jimmy G waiting in the fucking wings to just like swoop in, which now it makes it even worse. It creates even more of a controversy, and this is like what I was saying whenever Dak gets hurt and these guys have big contracts or they're due a big contract. Like, Jimmy G's not, like, he took a pay cut and now he's starting again. Like, if they make another push for a playoff spot, if they play better, or let's say they go to the Super Bowl and lose, or even go to the NFC Championship and lose, they make it to that, like, one of those last 2 games at the end of the year, what do you do? What do you do with Trey Lance coming off ankle? You're not going to start him. He's not going to be ready right off the bat. He could pull a Dak, but coming back from that nastiness, but I don't know. So we're gonna have Garen come on, big Niners fan, die hard. I don't fucking get it. You know, I feel like, you know, I might have beef with Vikings fans now, but the guy I don't have beef yet. Are you there, Garen? You there?
I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
oh,
You hear
okay.
me?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me see. Do I got you? Whoop. How do I get you over? Oh, I got to do the grid, right? And then I got to hide. No, not you. I'll just bring you up. We're just gonna have you on the screen for right now.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, you're good. I'm trying to think like this. What's it called? Full screen. Beep. Because it needs to like swap. I'm trying to get it to where it switches back and forth. Show non-video
Okay.
participants. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. Boom. It's showing
Move.
us the non-video participants, aka my recording. My recording. Well, I'm trying to figure out how we can like record the audio on Discord. I can get it. It sends it to me. So I like downloaded this robot thing. Like you've seen my Discord server is like wild. And I built that. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Built that like kind of high. In between like sessions of playing Heavy Rain and like, you know, like questioning my life. That was the beginning of the pandemic. So now to use it is nice, but I'm still trying to figure out the fucking features, man. But how are you doing, dude? How was your weekend outside of the injury?
Oh, yeah, my weekend was great. My weekend was great. You know, chilled. Just cleaning the house, and that's it.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all it was. Cleaning the house and chilling.
All right, nice, man. So I'm sure you're glad you guys picked up the W, but
Yes.
how are you feeling about this? You know, because I mean Trey Lance, that's a bet. He's done for the year. Definitely having surgery. Definitely not moving. Maybe we'll be ready for week one next year. And now you got Jimmy G coming back. And what did he say? It's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
how do you feel about? Do you think you're better off? I mean, were you almost? I don't want to say excited, but was there a sense of relief? Like I don't. As a Niners fan, what are you feeling? I'll shut up.
Well, no. It's first of all, it is sad to see Jimmy go down because you invested so much into him. Or not Jimmy, Trey. You invested so much into Trey, three first round picks. Um, it's just like we won't get another first round pick until 2024. And so uh, it sucks because I want to see what he would have done this year. And but you have one of the best backups in football possibly. So Jimmy G, who led us to the Super Bowl, who led us to the NFC Championship last year, can't ask for anyone better than that. And I feel more confident us making a playoff push now and going back to the Super Bowl.
Oh, really? I could see that though.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that's where whenever that happened, and then he came in and was like throwing dots, and he was like 7 for 7. I was like, oh, here we go,
Seven
dude.
for seven
Like,
touchdown.
here we
Yeah.
go, here we go, and he's just gonna have that porn star Jimmy smile on his face and walk around. And I mean, you got. I mean, he's been injured a lot, but I mean, he's one of those people
Yeah.
where he's interesting, like where he's been injured a lot, but when he's been on the field most of the time, he's worth it for you. So I feel like, and I don't want to say that like it's my fault, but I feel kind of bad when I was comparing the fact that Carson Wentz and Trey Lance both went to the same school, both like we moved up to take him, traded away some picks, and has like all the talent and the ability in the world, but it just keeps getting hurt. That ankle injury is like serious. Luckily, he's like young. I think he'll come back. We've seen how Dak came back from a very similar injury, but that's brutal. Like I felt bad for him, but also the way they were using him.
Using him. I told you that last week
Yep.
too. I said I hate the power dive or power quarterback dive, whatever it's called. I hate it. I mean, I understand Josh Allen does it, Lamar Jackson does it, but I mean, I want my quarterback,
Yeah, but I mean,
especially if we invest heavily into them.
yeah, and then you see, I mean, like we saw, Jalen Hurts running around with his big, strong legs, making tons of plays. He's a great scrambler, but we rarely do a lot of like designed, like run that shit up the middle. It's like, oh, it's RPO, make a read, pull it, and there's so many plays that it almost gets confusing. But man, I think we talked about it last week where we saw how he was using Robert Griffin. His best year was his rookie year. Hurt his knee, came back early, and then was like,
Yeah.
you hate to see it, but yeah, like you talked about it last week. The fact that it happened, like, almost shows that like there's
It's like, oh, it's RPO, make a read, pull it,
whoever
and
just
there's so many
joined
plays that it almost
should
gets confusing.
mute yourself. Oh, hey, whoever that was, thanks. No, but like that's trippy hearing myself. But the way that they were using him, and even on the play that he got hurt on, it was run up the middle. Like I saw it and was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And then you almost don't see
Yeah.
it get rolled up on. That's how much body traffic he's in.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't mind them doing the play if it's like going for like a 5 yard touchdown, like a three or like a within the touchdown range. You know, you're in the goal line range, and he does that, and he runs up the gut. I can understand that a little bit, but from like trying to get from like 8 yards for a first down, and you still got more like still much plenty of field to go through. Is like you're putting your quarterback at risk.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
and,
I just
and with Lamar Jackson,
yeah.
we talk about Lamar Jackson and how much he runs, but then when you also think about how much Lamar Jackson runs, I mean, he's otherworldly talent at running. So we saw that touchdown run. I mean, granted, they lost to Miami. You see that touchdown run he had. I mean, he hits the hole and he's gone for like 78 something, 80 yards on like like he's such a freak athlete that you can't, compare Trey Lance's running ability to Lamar Jackson's. You can't compare anyone's. Maybe Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham. There's a very short list of people where you could even make some sort of comparison between the two. But now I'm more worried about my pick for you guys to not make the playoffs. I said y'all weren't going to make the playoffs. I did, and I stand firm. I stand firm.
Man.
Well, there's a lot of turmoil in there. Now you see what Arizona coming back, which was fucking weird. That's the type of wave you could ride for. No, but think about on offense. That's the type of wave you could ride for 2 or 3 games. I mean, you got to think like you could ride that. I'm still not 100% sold on the Rams repeating, so I think it's a toss-up outside of Seattle. Who I don't think really has like that good of a chance of taking the division. Other than that, I think between the 3 of y'all, it's kind of up in the air. But I'm more confident in y'all with Jimmy G back there. So so I'm gonna get you on the spot, ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna let you go because I know you got shit to do. You making money moves. Big D Garin. So what do you think? What do you predict now that you have Jimmy G as your quarterback? What do you think your record's going to look like?
I possibly 11 games. 11-6.
11-6 and win the division.
11-6.
Well, do you think 11-6
win the division?
You think so?
Oh, for sure. Because I just like you said, it is hard to repeat, and I don't see LA repeating. And Arizona, they had to come back twice, and they failed the first time, and they barely got past it. They squeaked past it the second time.
Yeah.
With the Raiders. I mean, granted though, as well, D Hop is not playing. So that when he comes back from suspension, maybe it might elevate their play a little bit better. But as of right now, I feel more confident in them. And 11-6 we're gonna beat that. We're gonna beat all of them.
Man, you hope
we're gonna win that division.
You hope D Hop can come back and contribute. That fucker hasn't played in a while. I mean, I know he's suspended now, and there's all the controversy around it, but we haven't seen him play football in quite a bit of time. It's been a good grip since we've seen him play. So yeah, I mean that's possible. I hope you don't. I hope y'all are. I hope you're 10-7 and don't make the playoffs. And I'm right. But no, well, of course. But I mean, I gotta ask. But I mean, you saw my birds, right? You saw my birds. How
could I not?
I mean,
I watched that game. I watched that game more than I watched the Bills because they were dominating. And when you guys started dominating the fight, I was like, dang man, it's like.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It's going to be a blowout on both games.
Darius Slay went off, repping for everybody over
2
30.
Picks. Should have had 3.
Should have had 3 or 4. But I guess one of them would have disregarded the next play because then he got one on the next play. Yeah, I mean, I firmly believe if Jalen Hurts plays like that, we're going to be tough to beat.
It's a scary team.
There's a lot of talent, a lot of, and Dallas Goedert's a really good tight end. Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper, was just like popping up everywhere. But those reads, I mean, I was impressed to say the least. I know I'm just, riding my team, but whatever. It's my show. So
I feel like you guys have I feel like you guys have such a great interior D lineman as well.
Oh,
with,
I love our
Fletcher Cox and who's that rookie you guys got? Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. Then we have Hargraves. And then Josh Sweat. Brandon Graham, then we have so much talent. Then we brought in Kazir White. There's a lot. Our defensive front seven is pretty intense. We've already seen it.
I feel I see like a comparison between that and the Niners, and just all y'all just rotating like we do, keep you guys fresh, and then they'll just manhandle every offensive lineman
Yeah, because I mean, I think
that you go into. So
yeah, they were swallowing up Dalvin Cook for how good the Vikings looked week 1. They looked really bad, like really fucking bad. So that was pretty awesome to watch. I was excited because I was worried we might blow that game, but you know, anything's possible. Well, awesome, man. I know you got shit to do, and like we'll have you back soon. Whenever that happened, I was like, dude, you got to come on because we'll have you on quick. I got to hear how you feel about. Well, that's huge. That's pivotal. Like, you know, I mean, if
it is, it's a game changer right there.
and I mean, there's injuries galore. Right there, like we're already seeing these injuries galore. But we need to stop using your quarterback as a fullback. Shanahan, fuck off with that. I'm not even a Niners fan. Stop just hurting people. Kyle Shanahan, stop hurting people. That's a clip.
And I was looking at a tweet like during the game, and there was already a theme going on for fire Shanahan, hashtag fire Shanahan, and you just see all just like people just tweeting fire that this guy shouldn't be treating his quarterbacks like this, and then it showed this one guy ranting at the game as Trey Lance was getting carted off.
Yeah,
like he was there just like Shanahan. For 3 nothing. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, man. People. Yeah, but that was that was rough. That was pretty crazy. The fact that on that play, like you watch it on film and you're like, what happened? And then it's like, oh, he snapped his ankle and he's out for the year. It just seemed completely stupid. You're better off handing the ball off to somebody or like doing a little dink and dunk pass like Tom Brady. So, rather than just like, okay, now just run it up in there. That's fucking stupid. So everyone, like, stop doing that. That's why these guys want to get paid and they hold out when they don't get paid because they're just like, they're very expendable. So I think we watched a piece that's viewed as expendable because they have a backup. So, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
pretty much.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming on real quick, man. I'll let you get out of here. I'll chit chat with you soon, and then I'll hit you up and let's like get a beer this weekend or something because I'm off.
That sounds good with me, brother.
All right,
sounds good with me, man.
All
y'all take care, okay?
All right, good luck, man. Hopefully we see y'all in the playoffs, bitch.
I'll see you, bro. I'll see you.
All right, later, man.
Good shit.
Later. Peace out. That was Garen, everybody. Garen, good guy. Like I said, we went to school together, played football. He's a fucking awesome guy. I absolutely love that guy. He's super, super, super funny. And yeah, big time Niners fan. So, you know, it is what it is. So here in a little bit, I don't even know if they're in here yet, but we're going to have Joe come on. We're also going to have Mr. Schultz coming in with his picks. I know he's been running around doing his thing. We got Joe on here. We're still waiting on Andy, so we'll hold off on bringing Joe on. I'll let you do your thing. He sent me some picture. They had some weird, I don't know, college throw paint and shit on each other party. So it seemed pretty cool, but that's definitely... I was like, what? He was like, hey, I might be a little late for the podcast. I was like, don't worry about it, dude. Andy's going to be a little bit late. Why does it keep showing that? I don't want that to show chat. Get out of here. What is that? Okay. This dang thing, all these future robots and crap. But it's cool. So I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. I didn't know this, so while we're waiting for them to join, I was looking around and dicking around on Twitter. And bro, did you know that Henry Ruggs isn't in fucking jail? The guy who is a first-round pick from Bama, who played for the Raiders and is a complete ass and was drinking and driving in his Corvette and crashed into the back of a woman and killed her and her dog. They were trapped inside the car when it caught fire and tragically passed away, is out here running fucking drills on TikTok. Like, what? What? Like, this motherfucker is walking around running drills and laughing. And he has a videographer. Like, what? What? How is that even possible? The tweet says, did Henry Ruggs call Saul Goodman? Also, he should be the last person you should be telling to accelerate. I 100% agree. Like, I thought he was in jail. I mean, I guess he got bailed out, but now he's out here running drills. fucking laughing. Trying to make a comeback. Bruh, it's different set of rules for people. There's no way. And everybody... They have a sound girl. They have 2 videographers and a sound girl. What stadium is that? I don't even know. Spartans. Running around. Dude, fuck that guy. Like, are you serious? Oh, there's a...
I'm about to go off this year, STG, I swear to God. Been a grip. Good to see you, my guy. Thanks for the sig. I'll catch you at Xfinity Live later. Yeah, good looks. Yo, fuck the Vikings. Go Birds. Fuck Minnesota. Super Bowl 52. Run that shit back. E-N-G-L-E-S, Eagles. Get up from your seat one more time. Go back to Minnesota. Yo, throw hands. I will throw hands. Throw first, you won't. Throw another beer at it. Yeah, you dickhead. Yo, A.J. Brown has more yards in one game than Jalen Reagor did his entire Philly career.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins is a loser. He's a loser. Oh, skull. Yeah, the only skull I know is the shit I'm packing. You can take Justin Jefferson. You can take him. We don't fucking need him. Birds money line. No, we're back. We are back. Come on, Jalen. Miles Sanders is gonna run on your asses all fucking day. 38-7. 38-7. Fucking touchdown. The boys are back at the lake. The Eagles are.
That's like so absolutely true. R.I.P. to my friend Andrew. He was from Philly. We're good friends, and we he actually he helped me get my a job way back in the day, and he was a big Eagles fan. I mean, that is like the ultimate. He would just walk around power smoking fucking Camel Reds and just be like, "Go Birds, dude! Fuck the Vikings, bro!" Go Birds! Go Birds! Go Birds! You can't. That's just too good. That's just too fucking good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I saw this and I had to like bookmark it. I was absolutely fucking appalled. Henry Ruggs should not be out there training to go. What is he? And what's wild is he'll go play in like and I like it, but the fan controlled league. If he doesn't, I mean, if this guy doesn't go serve some sort of sentence, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I don't understand. Does he have an ankle monitor on? Because he probably should too. Not to like, yeah. Fuck Henry Ruggs. So who's in is no? I guess we're still waiting on Mr. Goody Man. In case anybody forgot, we talked about it a couple times. We touched on it. Fuck Brett Favre as well. Like now that all those text messages, the more and more that's come out about that, he's an absolute scumbag. Running. Was this old McNabb highlight? Look at that. Bro, I mean, I know these are like my boys, so I'm kind of like D-riding, get over it. We always just walk all over Minnesota, and they did that stupid like skull thing where they did it at like the Philly stadium and basically got booed. Everyone was like, fuck them, and then we beat them in the playoffs. And now we're roaming through. I guess while we'll wait, I'm just going to kind of roam around through fucking Twitter, man. I'm going to kind of pop through here. Okay, black culture's continued to be shut out of jobs. I think Tony Dungy, and I'm not going to deny that that's not the case, but some of these guys like walked away. To say that Romeo Cornell was kept from being a coach, I mean, he had his chances and he fucked around and was really bad at it. He was really fucking bad. Not to be a dick. Oh, Mike Evans, man. That's another thing. So Mike Evans running around cheap shotting people. The 1 game suspension is, to me, bullshit. I'm not the biggest, I'm not a Bucks fan. I have, I'm friends. I have people that I'm close to who are big Bucks fans. And I don't fucking get it. This is like the 2nd or 3rd time he's been taking cheap shots. And to sit here and say that, that was just, he's just protecting his dude. It's like, dude, that was cheesy as fuck. That was a cornball ass play. If he's talking shit to my quarterback, like, it's Tom Brady. What do you want me to do? That's like the worst excuse to go and take a cheap shot of somebody. Because somebody's running their mouth to him and he gets hit by Leonard Fournette. So you come up and just like, jack him, that's so garbage. And that's, you know, and look at Tom. Tom Brady instigates the whole thing. I know he's like, what, potentially getting divorced. He's separated from his wife. He looks fucking crazy right now. Like, he looks super slow and, like, just, he looks really skinny and, like, kind of off to me. Something, you can tell he's, like, upset or stressing stuff out, running pretty short temper. But there's no excuse for that, man. I don't understand how people are making excuses for it, acting like it's cool, acting like it's some tough guy thing. Anybody knows, anybody who played football fully understands that if you run around and you go do shit like this, like, you're probably, like, and you wouldn't have made it that far in your football career doing stuff like that. They're literally instigating a fight. You're just looking to sneak behind somebody and go stick them. And that's cornball. That's Bush League to me. For my personal opinion. Oh, good Lord, that's actually kind of true. That's a brutal clip. And this is what, the other time where Jameis Winston's pointing and pushing Lattimore, and where's Mike Evans? There he is. Super classy. Super classy. And then he's like, yeah, I stuck him. That's Bush League, dude. Absolute Bush League. It's Tom Brady. What do you want me to do? Because Lattimore runs his mouth. That's what he does. Because what is he doing right there? Yeah, nah, man. Nah, man. If you're in the chat or watching, let me know what you think. I think it's I completely disagree. I think he shouldn't have got a bigger suspension personally. It is what it is, but you know, definitely should have gotten something a little more serious than what he did get. That's for sure. And hold on, I'm going to bring up, so I'm going to run through some stuff while we're waiting. Waiting. Play some music. While I'm looking for something. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes to all this. Where's my scoreboard? This is like hold music. Okay, a little message from the Joseph 2.0 saying, like, if you need me now, he's in queue. Oh no, what have I done? No, we'll have... You can hear me, Joe. Come on. You can come on right now, man. We can start chit-chatting and going over some of this scoreboard shit. Because that's what I'm about to look at. We got Steelers, Browns. And then we'll hold off for bets until the chef comes in. Okay, I have to ask, too. Like, where are you right now? Like, are you under the stairs or something? It's always... It looks like you're, like, hiding in the fucking basement or something. There's these planks above your head.
So
Like under the bed or something.
I'm just in my room.
It's like hiding under the bed or some shit, dude. It cracks me up. But yeah, I was like, where the fuck are you? You're like, I'm like, shh, shh, shh. Don't tell anyone I'm down here.
So I live in a fraternity for all of you who do not know that.
Frat boy.
I don't expect any of you do. But like all the rooms are like, they're smaller rooms, so we got to build like a loft where our bed is, and then we have like our couch and desk underneath it all. So
okay, see,
that's why you see this little.
I saw one
right
setup
there.
where someone had their like computer gaming setup above their bed, on their bunk bed. It was like above it. I was like, that's fucking genius, and looked super dangerous. Like, I would never suggest doing that. It looked like a horrible idea, but it was fucking awesome at the same time.
I might have to look into that.
Let me see here. Well, I think he might be on now. I heard someone click in, so Mr. Goody might be here. But some of these games last week, man, your boys barely pulled it out. What was that about?
Nathaniel Hackett is the laughing stock of the league. Why is he our head coach?
You
He
think?
is so bad. He does not know how to manage a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. And Russell Wilson looked pretty shitty, man. Not to be a dick, but, you know, I was watching him out there run around, and he was not looking good. And, like,
No,
his
I don't think he's
execution.
that like engaged or anything. Cause like, I don't know. It's a different Russell Wilson. I don't think it's like the drop off that we're seeing. I don't think that's just because of age or anything like that. I just don't think he's that engaged or bought into this team. But I hope I'm wrong.
Do you think that the thumb injury he suffered from last year, which is pretty much what Dak had, do you think that has plays a role in it as well? Do you think he's 100% healthy? Broncos country, let's ride. Let's ride. Sorry.
That's right.
That's so cornball.
I mean, I don't think it's affecting him too much, but honestly, who knows? Like, you just.
But the
never
Texans
know
are
with these
good.
kinds
Like,
of things.
if the Texans were like Apex Legends players, they'd be sweaty as fuck. Like, the Texans are some fucking tryhards. So you got to give them, like, it's not like they played a bad team in the Texans.
Mhm.
I would just say, if someone said, oh, they're bad, I'd disagree. The Texans are definitely competitive. They're going to play hard. They're like the Detroit Lions of the AFC. They'll give anyone a run for their money. And if you fuck around, and you might find out every once in a while if you slack on them. I mean, we almost did week 1. They looked good last week. I think they won their game last week. You know, and then, you know, we'll have the Cowboys coming up. I think that Lions team would beat the Cowboys. I think that the Broncos would probably beat the Cowboys right now. But yeah, I mean, Judy's out. Isn't Judy out for you guys now too?
Judy's out. We got Justin Simmons, our all-pro safety. He's out. Pat Surtain, our second-year stud corner. He's out as well.
Any type of timetable? I don't keep up with, you know, teams that lose to
They
the
weren't
Seahawks.
placed on the physically on the pup list, so like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, something like that.
Okay, that's not too bad. And I forgot to give you this is Joseph 2.0. This is my nephew. So I gotta give you the clap in, everybody. We had to have him come in. He's normally on time. What was that weird ass fucking picture you sent me earlier? You were like covered in paint and shit.
Next drive.
No, so for our fraternity, so this is our homecoming week, and so every Wednesday of homecoming week, we have a food fight outside of our house.
Same thing next game. We get down.
And so, like, we were throwing food at each other. I saw a jug of milk on one of the tables, and then, like, a couple people standing behind it. So I went to go for the jug of milk.
There's something running in the background.
We just gotta quit being ourselves, start faster, and then.
Oh, is that my Twitter? What is going on?
First game, obviously.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's my bad. Why is it was playing on the ESPN like mini window? Sorry, man. That just tripped me the fuck out. I was like, why is Joe Burrow talking in my fucking ear? What the fuck is going on? And ESPN just started this fucking video for me. Appreciate it. We'll get to you in a second, Joey Burr. Sorry, man. Continue. But like, that was creepy as fuck.
No problem, no problem. But so I was going for this jug of milk, and then one of the guys decided to grab a bottle of hot sauce and spray it right at me.
Okay.
And then a little bit got into my eye, it like got all over like the side of my neck, onto my shirt. I don't know if you can see it with the lighting, but my neck is still kind of stained
Yeah, a little bit.
orange from
Yeah.
it, you know?
I thought you did some like color run or something, but to find out it's hot sauce, that's very disappointing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though. That was the first food fight I've ever been in. So
Food fights are pretty lit. I think I started a couple when I was like a kid. Back when food fights were food fights. If you got hit with the meatloaf, it'd knock you out. But I like threw a bunch of mashed potatoes on like the ceiling tiles, and they were like stuck up there for a while. Like I went back, like that was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and like in 7th grade I went back and the mashed potatoes were still stuck on the ceiling tiles because they were like 30 feet up. It was like a gymnasium style cafeteria, and I got after school detention for probably like 2 weeks or something like that. But it started this big food fight kind of, and I got in a shit ton of trouble. But yeah, some food fights are fun, man. I haven't been in one as an adult. I feel like someone would get hurt. I'd be like hurling shit, like throw a chunk an apple or something, and like take someone out. Right? It's got to be.
we just had like or we just had spaghetti and meatballs, so wasn't anything like that could damage someone, but
Yeah, I believe it. You know, you think that yeah. Like if you're gonna have a food fight, it has to be like soft foods. Like I feel like you have to prepare for it. You can't just like grab anything and throw it in. You can come on, man. We've been waiting for you, bro. The Schultz is ready, man. Come on. The big Mr. Goody, the big Mr. Goody. Clap him in, and then we'll boo him. I don't know why, but I just like booing him. I still like that on Talk Shit or Get Off the Pod. One time I booed you and you didn't realize it till later and you watched and it was like, boo. That cracked me up. Cracked me the fuck up. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you 2.0.
what's up?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, well, you told me to come in and like have it on mute and the video off, so I didn't know like how to, gracefully get into this double dutch.
Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, we were just sitting here bullshitting. I was like, all right, we'll pull him up. I was like, we'll pull him in. My bad. Yeah, normally, if Joe's on, I can't have one of you and not the other on, because that's like the rivalry. That's the battle of the bets. Which
did you guys go over the bets already? Like
no. We were just waiting. We were just bullshitting. I was just telling him how garbage the Broncos are and that the Birds are like the best team in the world. And everybody can say what they want. I'm gonna boo myself. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Bird Gang all day. Honestly, if Jalen Hurts plays like that, we're unstoppable. I think we're going to be really hard to fucking beat. But, no, we haven't done anything bets yet, so I don't know how much money I lost yet.
Okay. Well, tell us 2.0, because, I mean, my bets did not go, so I want to hear what the robot did.
So, quick recap. So, on the locks, we went 2-2. The Commanders and Lions over 49, that hit pretty easily. Colts -4 at Jacksonville. The Colts got shut out 24-0.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's wrong with the Colts, but they are.
I told you, bro. I told you.
Yeah, no, bro. I think it's fucking weird. Like you watch them play, but they've been trying to do this since they had, I guess since Andrew Luck left. They're just trying to like plug fuckers in there. It's almost like, dude, throw Sam Ellinger in there. I'm not even like, I mean, I'm not even the biggest Longhorns fan, but I mean, throw his UT ass back there and let him run around because they just look so bad. They need to do something. They look bad, and also the Titans look bad. A little off topic, but. Like, yeah, shut out 24. And like, we anybody who watches sports or understands football especially can see that there's a lot of talent on that Jags team. And if they just pull that all together and hunker down, that community's going to fall in line and absolutely love them, and they'll start selling out games. Like they're less than 10 years removed from an AFC championship game against Tom Brady where they lost at the end of the game with Blake Bortles as their fucking quarterback, But yeah, 24-zip.
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, that's bad. That's really shitty.
We might be talking about first coach fired, instead of Kingsbury over there. Might be Frank Reich, is that his name?
Shit, then you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna bring Frank Reich right back to Philadelphia, and he's gonna reunite with Sirianni, and he's gonna be like a quarterbacks coach or consultant for the Eagles. If he gets fired, he's gonna go right back to the Eagles for sure.
We don't need him. Like, we don't need fucking Jalen Reagor. That was the best part of that game, was that the Eagles are like have the game in the bag, and it's like 3 minutes left in the game, and the Eagles fans are still booing like Reagor.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that is my shit right there.
Yeah, that was
like,
fantastic.
is there a better fan base other than it's like Bills Mafia and then the Eagles? Like, it's like, and maybe like Kansas City. It's like those are real hometown advantages.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you think about just the energy, but it's a double-edged sword. So it's not like with Cowboys games where whether they're good or bad, they're going to sell out a game everybody's gonna be like, "Duh," like that's not the case. Like they'll get overrun in Philly if the team's trash. Just the stadium's empty. People aren't gonna go, and the ones that are there are gonna boo the fuck out of you relentlessly for infinity. I always say I'll turn off an Eagles game quicker than anyone if we're playing bad, because I don't want to watch that trash. Like that's
Yeah, we'll be the first ones to talk shit about our team.
oh yeah, most definitely, in a way that other people won't. It takes a sense of realism. You know what I'm saying? You got to be honest with yourself and be like, yeah, no, like we kind of suck, and we have no problem doing that.
I do gotta throw my Broncos in there. We do have a great fan base, but Nathaniel Hackett keeps coaching like he is. I think stadium's gonna turn into boos very quickly.
Yeah. Nathaniel, this isn't the Civil War. Like, go by Nat or something, like Nat Hackett. Like,
Yeah, that sounds like, but that just sounds like a Confederate general, General Nat Hackett.
or like a detective, like in the 80s.
Yeah,
You know, like,
man, or like in the 30s, like, please, Detective Hackett. He's like, that's Nat Hackett. That's Nat Hackett to you, broad. Yeah, no, he's playing like shit. They don't look that good. That offense is really bad. That was some like old school Andy Reid play clock management. We were like, what are you doing? I think I saw a tweet where it was some of these coaches need to start playing Madden fucking sim mode so they can learn how to like run clock management and learn how to use their fucking timeouts. Because if you've played Madden, you know how to use your timeouts.
well, that's exactly right. Like, I don't understand why like these teams don't hire like a fucking 18-year-old who's played Madden his entire life just to figure out the time. It's like, well, you have endless money. Why isn't there like a fucking like intern from like Caltech? Like, you know, I've always said I wanted to get interns on our podcast, talk shit or get off the pod, to like be running like, you know, the social media and like the producing. It's like, just fucking hire somebody for like, you know, $50,000, you know, a year, and have them tell you when to fucking call a timeout if you can't figure it out yourself.
Yeah, I mean, or you could start an esports team and consult with them.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different things that you could do. Nathaniel, that's funny. Is this a Civil War? General Nat Hackett.
Do you guys ever see that Twitter account where it's like Civil War Andrew Luck?
Oh, yes, I've seen Civil War Andrew Luck. That's so good. That's so good. Shout out Andrew Luck, man. Way to get out.
I like to call him Andrew the Giant. He's like Andre the Giant. Yeah, so I like to just take one game at a time, you know, one snap at a time.
But he was so likable. Like, even when he's mic'd up and he's getting sacked and he's like, hey, good hit, man. Good hit, bub. And like people are knocking the shit out of him. And he's like, hey, man, good play. And like shaking their hand and walking off. He's just like, ugh. He's
cringe.
like he's
Cringe.
no, but he's like the coach's son that like you like, you know. Okay, a little off topic, but I think Tom Brady is like the coach's son that everyone fucking hates. Throws temper tantrums, throws a fit, cusses at everybody. Nobody does shit to him, and he's good, but he's like a prick, and you're like, oh fuck that guy. But Andrew Luck was definitely like a coach's son, but he's like very likable, and how he's like whenever he was doing his getting inducted to the Stanford College Hall of Fame, and they were talking about him in the College Football Hall of Fame, all he talked about was like the women's basketball coach. He was like, hey, we have all these historic women going in, like, yeah, I'm here, but fuck that, it's also about these people too. And like I appreciate, and like also the fact that he walked away and was like, nah, man, this is some bullshit. I got this pilled out owner who treats everybody like shit, and Jim Irsay, so I'm getting the fuck out of here. Peace out.
I mean, while we're on it, Jim Irsay literally came down to the locker room at the end of the Colts season last year. It was like, get Carson Wentz the fuck out of here. He like I don't even care who you replace him with, and apparently that hasn't really worked out for them.
Yeah,
but,
they look
like,
worse.
But I respect it, because I was the same way. Like, get fucking Carson Wentz. My brother would call him Wentzylvania.
Yeah, Wentzylvania. I would call him
Get him.
Wentzylvania.
Get him the fuck out, dude. Just like get Rager out of here, get Wentz out of here. Like, we have bigger things to do here.
Yeah. Well, so we got a little off topic, but so we went 2 for 2 on the locks. So we whiffed on. So we hit one. We hit the over 40, over 49 for the Lions game, and then we missed on the Colts because they fucking suck. Everybody besides Darius Leonard. Dear Darius Leonard, get the fuck out of Indianapolis. What were the other ones?
So
You guys got
Ole
Okay,
Miss minus 16 and a half at Georgia Tech. Ole Miss won 42-0. That game was not close at all. Not much of a sweat, pretty easy win. And then the teaser, the Bengals lost 20-17. We teased them down from 7.5 to 1.5. I don't know what's wrong with the Bengals. I don't know if it's a Joe Burrow problem or what.
I think it's an O-line problem. I think it's like just coming together as an O-line. We saw Sample go down with an ankle injury on a pretty bad tackle. I thought it was borderline horse collar. They didn't get talked enough in that game, but losing their tight end that early was huge for him. He just came. They lost him last year. They're down the guy who replaced him. So I think there's just a lot of moving parts and trying to figure shit out.
Do you think that game says more about the Bengals or the Cowboys?
I think that says more about the Bengals and their dysfunction, just because the Cowboys didn't do shit the second half. I was saying that at the beginning of the show, like the Cowboys only 3 points in the second half were those points. They had less than 10 minutes of possession the entire second half. They were getting blown the fuck out. There's like maybe there's like a bad call. There's a couple bad calls where that stopped drives for the Bengals in like the third, and then some in the fourth, and then not being able to convert and get down the field for that field goal was huge for him. But I mean, I think it says way more about where the Bengals are at and how they're like shows where they're struggling than like, oh, the Cowboys are great. Cowboys defense is pretty good, but like we know that the Bengals are having offensive line issues, and they have for the past 22 games. This is something that existed all of last year, all of the playoffs. It's literally just the same thing, and we're seeing Joey B come up a little bit short when they need him to make that moment where he had those moments last year. Because, I mean, they could have easily beat the Steelers the week before on a bad call that wasn't challenged, on a touchdown that was not called a touchdown. It's blatantly a fucking touchdown. So, I mean, I think what it says about the Cowboys is their defense is pretty good. They're getting some good work out of receivers that you wouldn't expect. But I personally think that's just a curse for him. It just like recycles the same thing. Because now Dan Schultz is out with an ankle injury. And then you might have Gallup come back, but then CeeDee Lamb, he didn't wow me in that game. I wasn't like, oh man, CeeDee Lamb's back. That one guy, Brown, I think his name's Brown, number 85. He's a little slot receiver for the Cowboys. He's been all over the place in the first 2 games. So that's somebody to look out for. But I mean, they're probably not paying him. This is probably the last year of his deal. He's going to ball the fuck out, and then they're going to give him a quadrillion dollars, and then he's going to suck. And they're gonna trade him for nothing. So I mean, I don't think we learned anything about the Cowboys. It's just more.
Well, we learned that Cooper Rush is at least like competent. Like he can manage like a professional outing at least. You know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if like you're like hitching your wagon to him or whatever the fuck that term is, but it just like I don't like if I was the Cowboys, I'd be like, okay, we don't have like some like shit show back here.
I think you'll learn more about the Cowboys this week and Monday Night Football against the Giants. While they're how they're playing good. But Saquon looks like he's really good, so we're going to learn more about their run defense. I know they can rush the passer. That's totally fine. But like I said, I don't think what we saw, I don't think that Cowboys team beats the Jags. I don't think that Cowboys team beats the Lions. And I don't think that Cowboys team beats the Eagles. I don't think they beat those 3 teams, and that's 3 games coming up before Dak's supposed to be back. Like, I don't think they win those games. They could. I thought they would probably get smoked by the Bengals. I thought the Bengals would be pissed. They looked pissed in the second half, but they've got so many execution issues. And, Micah Parsons is a baller, so he's going to get his. But there's so many issues across the board for the Cowboys that, like, they're playing a banged up, not healthy, shitty offensive line in the Bucs. So that they look better than they actually are. Like the Bucs defense is the real deal. The Bucs offense looks like trash right now. I still feel good in the Bucs not making the playoffs. Tom Brady has 2 touchdowns and like 400 yards in 2 games. He's 18 for 34 for 190 yards and 1 touchdown. When you looked at Jameis Winston, he threw 3 picks, and they still had a chance up until the end of the game. Or like the Chargers. I said that I don't have them winning, and Herbert blew it, and now he's fucking hurt. A bunch of people on their team's hurt, and it's like I have to see the Chiefs lose before I'll believe them. The Chargers are just gonna vault them. Nah, man. Like, they have too many issues on offense too.
I mean, the Chargers look like the better team for most of that game, to be honest. But yeah, the cracked rib, that's not good. And especially because Tyrod Taylor is suing the doctor for the Chargers because when he had a crack rib, they punctured his lung with it, and now it's the same doctor who's still on the staff who's gonna be like looking at Herbert's broken ribs. It's like, oh fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Also, even more, I would say almost more importantly than Justin Herbert, their center. I don't know his name. Like, once their center got hurt in the Chiefs game and went out, that offense changed completely, even with Justin Herbert. So, like, I think that center, like, he's, like, monitor how healthy he is. I think that's going to impact a lot, like, to figure out, like, how well this Chargers offense is going to be.
Yeah, most definitely. That's why I said, and I hate it, but, you know, like John Elway syndrome. I think he's going to suffer through some rough years and be uber talented, and we'll expect the world of him. And I think it's better. I think the John Elway syndrome is better than like Dan Marino syndrome, where you get to the Super Bowl pretty quick and you never fucking go back. So I just don't think that this is like the time. And what we're seeing from the Chiefs in that division, like the way their offense is running, I mean, they're just humming. If they get some sort of turnovers from their defense, the way that offense is moving, throwing the ball around, now he's just having to spread the ball out more. And Pat Mahomes, I mean, Pat Mahomes is like as legit as they come, in my opinion, in a different way than Justin Herbert is. You would assume he has all the intangibles to be better, but there's something that Pat Mahomes does and has, how he plays and sees the field, that's just a little bit different. But they both throw fucking dots, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, Mahomes, like, Steph Curry, and, like, Herbert is, like, shit, I don't know. I was going to say, like, Donovan Mitchell, but no. Like,
Bradley Beal.
No, like Trae Young.
Okay, that's fair. You can make, yeah, definitely. But no, it'd be more, I'd say it'd be more like he's going to have, like, it'd be
real quick before I forget, Josh Allen, like Luka.
Oh yeah, Josh Allen's so legit. He's so fucking legit. And then I still don't fully believe in Miami. I fucking hate Tua, and I just don't like Miami. So sorry, I hate Miami fans and that whole thing.
That's right, Sticky Fingers.
Because they're all he's a Cowboys fan. So if Sticky tries to claim Miami,
he's in Miami. He's in Miami.
No, he doesn't get no. These people that have like shrines of Cowboys shit in their house, when they move to fucking New York, you don't get to say, oh, I'm a Giants fan now whenever the Giants are good. No, you had a fucking Cowboys shrine like in your house, or if you have Cowboy sheets, you're automatically disqualified. If you slept on anything Cowboys for more than 6 months in your life, you're disqualified.
I had a Cowboys blanket. I don't know why, but also, how many hand jobs does Ross have to give in Miami before he's allowed to claim the Dolphins?
It's like 13.
Yeah.
Baker's dozen.
Oh yeah, well he's already got that then.
Yeah. All right. So, and then how were your locks, Andy? So you whiffed on all of your bets?
Okay. Yes.
Let's recap yours before we get into the rest of his, and then we'll get into y'all's for this week.
All right. Well, the Triple S parlay could not have gone worse. All three lost. Like, had I taken bet both, I would have won money. Because, like, with the parlay, if one wins and two lose, or two lose, whatever it is, like, you're done.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that I got all three on the long shot parlay wrong was tough. And then on the 5 team, it was like a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But I'm coming back. I kept the same formula, so I got a 3-team long shot and a 5-team parlay, all favorites. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, how did we do on your don't bets, and then how did we do on your upset, Joe?
So for the don't bet, it was the 49ers versus the Seahawks. The 49ers blew them out 27-7. Obviously, like you talked about earlier in the podcast, Trey Lance had the season-ending injury. Jimmy G is in, and like this has been his team for however many years, and now he's back, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this 49ers team works out in the future with him.
Yeah.
I think they're better off right
Yeah,
now.
I'm more
with Jimmy G.
scared. I'm more scared of them in my pick for them to not make the playoffs now. We had Garen on earlier, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm probably more confident in the Niners now than I was when I with Trey Lance. He's like, I feel bad, and I want him to get a chance, and I think he's gonna be great with the team with how it's constructed now, and like because I think it's win now. I think it's win now for the 49ers more than it's win later. I mean, Fred Warner's a great linebacker. He's not going to get any younger. I don't think Greenlaw is getting any younger, right? Like Bosa, the Bosa brothers are both hurt off and on all the time. They've been in the league for more than 4 years, like right, or they're about to be up. Their rookie deals are about to be up if they haven't already been paid. I just don't know.
And then yeah, like Kittle and Debo, like those guys are beasts, but they could be out in a second.
Kittle's been out already, so that's where it's like
I know.
So it's like I definitely think they're in win now mode, and that's where it was interesting when they were like, oh well, we're going with Trey Lance. So I think they're better off this season, maybe not long term, and I think it just creates more turmoil because if they make the playoffs and go deep, what the fuck what do you do then? Who are you? Like, are you going to re-sign him because he restructured his deal? So if you keep him, you have to re-sign Jimmy G as a starting quarterback, right? While you're still paying first-round money to Trey Lance, and now you're losing a whole year of his contract. You're just losing that this whole year without development. So he's still going to be getting paid first-round top 3 pick money, and it's going to only go up. And then Jimmy G's not going to take a pay cut next year.
Yeah.
Like he'll write off if he plays good. He's auditioning for another job. He's auditioning for
100%.
And to go back full circle, he's auditioning for the Colts job next year.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, he's auditioning for the fucking Colts job right now in real time, or like the Seahawks job or something like that.
The Saints might be in play
if he looks healthy and he can throw the ball, So let me see. Where Colts, Jags. You said don't bet on the Niners. You're upset. Saints.
Ask him about how that Vikings pick went.
Yeah, so before we get into that, the Saints did lose 20-10 against the Bucs. It was the first time Tom Brady has beaten the Saints with the Buccaneers. That game was frustrating to watch. Like, the first touchdown that the Bucs scored, it was 4th down twice, and they got like some bullshit penalties that like helped them get the first down, keep the drive going. It's a frustrating game to watch when you're on the Saints. And then for the parlay, 2 of the 3 legs hit. The Chiefs and Chargers first half under 27, that hit pretty easily.
Yep.
Vikings got blown out.
Don't you ever disrespect the Eagles like that.
Yeah.
Tell your robot.
I've learned my lesson. And then the Miami-Baltimore over 44, that hit easily. Miami almost got that by themselves.
Crazy game.
Oh, yeah.
Miami's good.
Ravens were up 21 twice in that game and still lost.
Yeah. But fuck Tua. His lefty.
I don't necessarily trust him, but I don't have any problem with him.
He's a lefty. I don't trust him. He's a lefty quarterback.
So is Mikey Vick.
Yeah, and he didn't get us to the promised land. He didn't beat the Packers in the playoffs.
That was some of the most fun like Eagles football that I've ever watched.
I would take McNabb over Vick any day, and like what they were able to accomplish. McNabb got us to 5 straight NFC Championship games in a Super Bowl.
No, I know. I get the pedigree. I'm just saying, like when Mike Vick was on, like it was like that was like must see TV type shit.
Yeah, I mean, you could make a case that like now there's a bunch of lefty kids who are like, Tua's a pro quarterback, because that was a big stigma back in the day. It's like being a left-handed quarterback. Most of your dominant receivers are to the right. You'd have to flip the whole playbook. If you have a lefty, everything like shifts. You have to change everything because they're immediate dominant throw side. Like for their quickest routes and stuff. Otherwise, they're always throwing across their body. But I mean, he balled out. I mean, I'm like I said, I don't trust him. I'm not a full believer. I could easily see him throwing a 3 interception game. Like, again, like if they play the Ravens again, throwing 3 picks again, I'm not 6 touchdowns for 409 yards. Like, get the fuck out of here. And he underthrows a lot too, but I digress.
Yeah, he's like Carson Wentz-esque vibes.
Yeah, but Wentz has got he's got like a howitzer of an arm compared to Tua's got like a little noodle arm. Not to be a dick, but like he's a timing guy. He's gonna throw you open, but he has to read it quick. He has to dissect the defense and understand what's going on because he can't like rocket it through. Carson Wentz gets in trouble because he thinks he can throw the ball through a wall all the time, like kind of like Joe Flacco used to, but not with way less finesse. And shout out Joe Flacco, the return, dude. Return of the Mac. I love Joe Flacco. I used to love him in Madden shit. He's got a cannon. So I love to see him like have that comeback. And fuck the Browns. The Browns are getting all the karma in the world. And Baker Mayfield. I think that the Browns are shitty. I hate Baker Mayfield. I think he's shitty. So it's good to see them both like being shitty at the same time. It helped. It makes me feel better about it. Because if Baker went to the Panthers and they're balling out, I'd be annoyed as fuck.
When have Baker and the Browns not been shitty at the same time since he's been in the league?
No, his rookie year when he was like, "Oh, we won 7 straight," and like that, that thing that the old timers talk about when they talk about why he's good, and they talk about this like him in the first like 9 games he played in a vacuum. Other than that,
I just thought about this. Think about the Browns QB selections. They picked Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, first overall. Fucking Baker Mayfield first overall, and then they gave Deshaun Watson like the biggest guaranteed contract ever. It's like,
yeah, but I mean, there's a thing where it's a jersey, and like you could go all the way back to Tim Couch. They haven't had a good quarterback in a really long fucking time, like a really long time. I think
it's like the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much John Elway when he had the drive at the end of that game. It's like 90 yards to win a game against the Browns. I'm pretty sure that's who the drive was against. They've been like trash ever since then. I think they haven't had anybody respectable back there in a long ass time. And they do something like we'll get Brian Hoyer from the backup at the Patriots, and he plays like 2 games pretty good, and then it's like tears his ACL on Monday Night Football. But they're reaping everything that they sow right now for sure.
I mean that's what happens when Bill Cosby is one of your owners.
Yeah,
he literally was the one who brought him back.
Yeah, you need to bring them back. Everybody bring back them. I'll bring the pudding. Bah. We can line up and take pictures with the Kodak film. All right, sorry.
And the roofies.
No, it's terrible. Andy Schultz comments do not reflect this podcast or any association with Old Man Huggie Productions. No, I'm just...
he's like convicted of it.
No, he got no, true. I mean, now, yeah, I've seen some like really just shitty jerseys by people that are like they have like a jersey that's Deshaun Watson's number and it's like rub and tug and all sorts of stupid shit where people are like openly making fun of it, and it's like, dude, like that's why I hope you guys lose every game, go 0-17. You deserve every bit of that. To like make light of that situation is absolute bullshit. That's just like rubbing it in people's faces on a whole nother level.
No pun intended.
And that's where Jesus, and that's where other teams or franchises like didn't want to bring him the fuck in because that's like nah, that's like shitty. That's super shitty. Like fuck them.
The Dolphins kicked the tires on that.
Who's that? Like, Jimmy Haslett? No, who's there? Jim Haslett? Is that their owner? Jim Irsay's the Colts. I think Jim Haslett is. Yeah. And somebody threw a water bottle at him at the last game. There's a video of it where somebody chucked this water bottle at him when he was walking through the tunnel, and they tracked that guy down and banned him for life.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He was like a minority owner of the Steelers, and then bought the Browns. Like, so he's not even like a Browns fan.
He's just saving up a cut of that check until he has enough to go buy his own.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hear your picks. I'm gonna come up with something for it. Then I'll have to format it out. Maybe if we get them early, I can put a little thing up that'll show both of your picks on the screen. Maybe. But I could do that. I could just create a tile and change the text. But let's hear your picks for this week, Mr. Schultz. You were down.
The goody good picks?
Yeah, the goody good picks. You were down last week. Joe, did we finish up or down?
So on the locks we were 2-2. Overall we were 2-4, so we are down last week.
How many fractals or whatever the fuck you
units?
Yeah, no.
Units?
Just wanted to say fractals, my word of the day.
Yeah, I didn't calculate it out exactly. It's like 2 point something units.
So we're down like 3 units all day because we were down like a little less than. Okay, that's not too bad.
And so I'm down 2 units because I only put 2 units on.
Okay,
A unit each on the last one.
but we don't know your measurement of units, so that's the real.
It was the same. No, I'm
Ah.
keeping it the same.
Okay. Gentleman's challenge. I like that. Well, what are you? Let's hear your picks for this week, big man.
So this week, I wanted to keep in the same format for me, even though, the robot's getting a little exotic and transfer, dabbling in college. The one thing I would say that saved us on a unit, I didn't get this one out, was I was gonna say take the points on Alabama. So they were favored by 49 points, and I was like, okay, 49 is a lot. Like, just take the under. And no, they covered. So thank God I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Okay. This one was a little bit tough. Kind of could go either way in a lot of these games this week. Like a lot of like really pick 'em type scenario. So we'll start with the 5 that are favored. Five team money line parlay. I hesitated putting the Eagles into the parlay last week because I wanted to, just keep that separate,
Yeah.
Love and money. So I got Bills, Bengals, Eagles, Chargers, Chiefs. And that 5-team parlay is plus 396. So basically plus 400.
Okay.
Now, I mean, it doesn't sound that sexy, but it's not supposed to be. I think the Eagles handle it. Bengals, I'm hoping they bounce back against the Jets. The Jets are just, I don't know what to make of the Jets. Like, I got a lot of investment in my fantasy teams with their wide receivers, like their rookie, Garrett Wilson, their rookie last year, Elijah, and, or Eli, I mean. And, so we'll see. And then I think Bills Dolphins, like I feel like the Bills might be the best team in the league. I don't know. I think the Dolphins, despite your Tua hate, I think they like look pretty scrappy, but I just don't think they get it done against the Bills. And then Jaguars, they've looked decent, but I think the Chargers handle that. And the problem with the Chargers is there's no home field advantage because nobody gives a shit about the Chargers. But guess what? Nobody really gives a shit about the Jaguars. So I don't think there's going to be like 50,000 Jaguar fans in the stands in LA.
Yeah.
Like there would be when the Eagles came out here and played them, it was like 90% Eagles fans in the stands.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs are just going to rout the Colts. And like the line is only minus 250 for the Chiefs over the Colts. Like I'm like, what the fuck are you guys even talking about? Like,
Yeah.
I might even suggest like just take the point or give away, lay the points down, and that should be a blowout. Now, where we make our bones here on Angry Black Quarterback is the long shot 3-team money line parlay. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Because this I think is gonna hit. And we move lines around here, baby. We move lines like Donahue, just cheating the ref from the NBA.
Yeah, I remember Donnie.
Yeah, he's got a Netflix documentary. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And they're just like, okay, tell us what happened. He's just like lying. He's like, oh, mobsters. It's like really, he was like his like friend.
Yeah, this mobster I knew back in the day. You're like, that's
He's not a mobster.
You're like, that's George. You worked at Blockbuster with him in college. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, but his dad owns a pizza shop. He's connected.
He's not.
Yeah, no, he's not. No, he's not. Shut the fuck up.
I heard you talking about a couple of these teams when I was waiting in the wings, ready to jump in. So I'll just start with the first one. This is barely a underdog, but it is Packers over Bucks, plus 105. That's essentially a pick 'em. But I was struggling to find like like the third to get in here. So just to qualify, Packers. And then our favorites, Lions, Texans. Lions over the Vikings. Texans over the Bears. That's plus 205 on the Lions, plus 120 on the Texans, plus 105 on the Packers. Collectively, plus 1276. 1,276. 3-team long shot parlay.
I don't even know if those are long shots. Those all sound so believable. In the
That's
sense,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Bears over Texans. Texans over Bears. Yeah, like I would definitely. That's 100%. I'm surprised that that's not flipped. Like the Bears aren't considered the underdog. Texans have played everybody hard.
Yeah, but it's in Chicago, and then Lions over Vikings in Minnesota, but that's still plus 205 by itself, which is crazy. And then I think Aaron Rodgers can go into Tampa Bay and just handle it.
I think so. Like I said, I don't believe that Green Bay defense I like a lot, and I just don't believe in the offensive weapons around. I don't believe in what I've seen from the Bucs on offense to think that if they go up against a defense that's like theirs or similar in like formidability, I don't think they come out on top. Like I just don't, because I feel like they've struggled offensively in every single game they've played. They've struggled offensively, like big fucking time. Field City.
Before I let 2.0 go, just a real fun fact on the Bucs. Mike Evans, he restructured his contract during the offseason, and it lowered his base salary of this year to the league minimum of $1.12 million. That means when he got suspended for the week, it will cost him $62,000 the suspension. But had he not restructured his deal, it would have cost him $715,000 just missing this week. So he saved himself like well over $500,000 just by restructuring his fucking deal. Just want to throw out that fun fact.
Yeah, but he would have been making more money in general, so it still would have been the same percentage, right? It just would have been because his old deal was big time. Is it going to continue to increase after this year on his contract?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they might have his base salary is like 1.12, but like they might have been like giving him some guarantee in the back end.
Yeah.
I don't know how they like restructure this shit, but you're not factoring in getting suspended for a week. And had he been, it could have cost him close to $1 million.
Should have gotten like 2 or 3 weeks, personally, I think. Dirty as fuck. All right, 2.0. The Robot Master. Right. For those of you who don't know, caveat, this dude's got a robot he's built. It walks around. He stole a Roomba from his neighbor, did some weird shit with it with a soldering iron, and now it walks, talks, and it makes picks. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. I was just like, you're like, well, he stole a Roomba. Get rid of your Roomba. It's so China can track your house. Everyone knows it. They're talking about it. The Roombas are evil. Sorry. Someone was telling me that the other day. I think we talked about it on the other podcast too, that people think that Roombas are like there so China can map your house. So if they invade the U.S., they have a floor plan of your house via your Roomba.
Yeah, I'm very against Roombas.
Really?
Yeah, I always unplug. Like we had one when I was with my girlfriend and my ex-girlfriend, and I would always go and unplug it. And then she's like, "Do you unplug the Roomba?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck that robot."
Why do you hate the Roomba?
I don't know. I just don't like robots.
That's fair. Touche.
You hear that 2.0?
Oh.
Bro, so you're gonna hate my robot even more after you hear these picks, because I'm on the other side from some of yours.
Okay. Let's hear
it.
First off, we got the Bucks minus 1.5 over the Packers at minus 110. So Mike Evans is suspended from this game. Once that news came out, the line dropped from -3 to -1.5. This Bucks defense is elite. They're one of the best in the league. I think they have what it takes to stop this Green Bay offense. Green Bay allowed 180 rushing yards to the Bears last week. Like, who do the Bears have? They have David Montgomery, but like
He's-
he's not an
he's-
elite running back.
Yeah, he's like B tier.
Mm-hmm. And so,
And the Bucks got Cole Beasley. They signed up ginger white boy rapper, anti-vaxxer, school board mom Cole Beasley has joined and signed with the Bucks this week. A little slot guy, so that'll be interesting to see.
hey, those are Tom Brady's favorite wide receivers. So.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't easy being Beasley, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So I expect the Bucks home opener for the season. Tom Brady's. You guys hear that news that Tom Brady every week is getting Wednesday as like a personal day?
Well, him and his old lady are like living separate. One of them's renting out Derek Jeter's old house. They're like supposedly on the cusp of divorce.
Yeah, but I think it's
Yeah,
just to
I
like
think
make
this is Tom Brady's last season.
Mm-hmm.
he's got to maintain the flow, dude. Like, you know, he's got to get like the hair plant treatment. You know, he needs Wednesdays.
Yeah. Wednesday's my day. It's my day.
I was off topic, sorry.
Oh,
But
you're good.
then next up, we got the Ravens -3 at the Patriots. So we all saw what the Ravens put up against the Dolphins last week. If it wasn't for a fourth quarter collapse, I think they would have won that game. Lamar Jackson is listed as questionable. He does have some elbow issues, but he did fully participate in practice today. Him and John Harbaugh, they both said that he will play in the game on Sunday. I fully expect him to be there. And yeah, besides the last quarter collapse against the Dolphins, they would have won that game. Through the first 6 quarters of the season, they have outscored opponents 59-23. I expect that to happen against this Patriots team that has not looked good. They barely beat the bad Steelers team without TJ Watt. Mac Jones does not look good. He has as many touchdowns as interceptions. Just two, just for a little bit of reference there. But this offense does not look good, and I don't think they'll be able to keep up with the Ravens' explosive offense that they have.
Okay. And those are 2 locks.
2 picks. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's not going for the lock on those.
Hey, the locks are about 500 right now, so I don't know if it's fair to keep calling them locks.
Hey, that's
Nah,
what everyone
nah.
else does.
Nah, I call them Goldilocks, baby, just right. Ooh.
You can blame him on the robot. You could say the robot. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a robot that you could be if you do bad. You're like, fuck this robot. Fuck this Roomba turned automatron that I fell in love with. That'd be weird.
That'd be really
I think-
weird.
But if it
I
wins a
think-
lot of money, feel free to marry this robot.
I think 2.0 though should be telling us how many units you're putting on these bets. So, because Joseph and I were talking about it, he's like, so I was like, you guys did get the under on the Chiefs Chargers, but then I was like, but it depends on like how many units he's putting on these bets. So I don't know.
We'll talk about it off air. We don't gotta get into how many fractals and how much mana he's putting down on the table. Well, because you don't say how much money you're putting down on these bets.
I just did
Did
a
you?
unit each.
Oh yeah, okay. And I guess if you'd have to know what the unit is. I'm gonna have to come up with a chart where we'll put both of your picks on, and then what like the unit. I'm gonna have to come up with something like a graphic.
I'm willing to go bigger on the units, but since I got shut the fuck out like last week, I was like, let me hit one of these first, and then we could start like elevating it.
Yeah. All right. So what are your other? You got one more on here.
I got
For
the
locks.
49ers -1.5 at the Broncos. Sunday night football. Broncos are bad right now. Their offense isn't clicking. We haven't seen the same elite Denver defense that we're accustomed to the past couple of years. Also, Nathaniel Hackett, like I said earlier, he's just a laughing stock of the league. He's so bad. He is way over his head. This isn't the postseason, so Kyle Shanahan will actually be able to outcoach Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, that's true.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
And then if you watch the game this past Sunday, when Jimmy G came in, it kind of seemed to reignite this 49ers team. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna keep that energy and come into Denver and cover the small line, -1.5.
So to recap, 2.0's robotic locks of 2020, stone cold locks of the century. He said there's no
2020.
or I don't know 2022. Sorry, man, I don't know.
Uh,
This pandemic
Jesus
fucked me up,
Christ.
man. I feel like I'm still stuck in 2020 sometimes. But you got Packers at the Bucks -5.5, Ravens -3 at the Pats, and then you're betting against your boy. Let's ride. He's riding with the Niners -1.5 at Denver. All right, tell me about this teaser.
Yeah, so
Teaser. I don't. That's a weird name.
the
That's a weird
three-leg
call.
teaser, kind of touched a little bit on it last week. If I dove into what a teaser is, if you want to learn more, just go watch last week's episode.
Oh, shots fired.
Ooh,
So
good,
we have
good
first leg
tease.
is the
Good
Chiefs.
tease.
Yeah.
You're getting good at this 2.0. Okay.
So the first leg of the teaser, we got the Chiefs at the Colts. We're teasing the Chiefs down from -7 to -1. I mean, like we talked about earlier, the Colts are just bad this year. Matt Ryan looks awful. They need to go sign Jimmy G in the offseason. Then, fun fact, Patrick Mahomes, I forget what the exact number is, but he is undefeated against the spread in indoor stadiums. Well,
Real
I
quick,
believe
how
what,
it.
relevant that actually is, but it's just a little.
no,
just
that's
a little
definitely
side
relevant.
nugget.
Yeah. Real quick, why wouldn't you tease it up?
So taking the Colts from +7 to +13.
Yeah. Like, no, take the Chiefs +13. I mean, -13.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So, like, okay, so the Chiefs are favored by, what, you said 7? 7.5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, couldn't you tease it up to Chiefs win by 2 touchdowns?
You might be able to in some sports books. In the sports book I use, it just teases 6 points in whatever direction helps you.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
So you would have to take Colts +13 or Chiefs +1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So then second leg, we got the Eagles at the Commanders. I learned my lesson last week. We're teasing the Eagles from -7 down to -1. The Commanders have looked good, but this Eagles team, they're the favorites to win the NFC right now. I think just need them to win by more than 2 points. I think they'll get that done. Oh, he's pulling out the hat.
It sits up here. I got the Fletcher Cox jersey on the other side. My head's too big. I can't wear hats, man. Who am I fooling?
Yeah, same. That's my whole side of the family too.
Yeah, man. It's a Huggins problem, and I'm adopted, and I still have a big head. How does that work? It's bullshit, dude.
That makes 3 of us, bro.
Yeah, they're a long lost cousin. That'd be tight. That'd be bad for the world if we found out in some weird way we were like 4th cousins or something and friends. Like the world would explode. Because it'd be a family thing then. All 3 of, like, you know what I'm saying? We take over.
I know, and especially how would I?
Feud action.
Yeah.
It'd be weird when I try to hit on 2.0's mom. You know, like we're family.
So that'd be your brother. It'd be your brother, uncle. It'd be
She's
brother.
watching this right now. I'll tell you that.
Oh, it's true. No, my sister's the shit. Shout out, Kathy. Coolest.
Yeah, she's a G.
She's a
I
G.
love her.
She's G as fuck, bro. My sister's cool as shit. And again, then what's the last part of your teaser?
Oh, we got the Lions at the Vikings. We're teasing the Vikings from -6 to essentially a pick 'em, so they just need to win the game. They don't need to cover any line. This is at a +150. Talked about it a little bit earlier. The Colts are just bad this season. Ryan has not looked this good. Shaquille Leonard was a full participant in practice, the linebacker for the Colts. He is expected to play, but it's not going to make up for the lack on offense that they're seeing right now. And yeah, the Eagles blew out the Vikings last week, and they're now the favorites to win the NFC Championship. But I already went into all this.
Yeah.
Not this whole spiel, but I
No,
already talked about it.
well, you know, like with the Lions, like I said, when they played us, like I don't, like I said earlier, I don't think. What did I say? I don't think the Cowboys beat the Jags. The Jags team we've seen. I don't think they beat the Lions team. The Lions team, that the Lions look good. And the Vikings looked really bad. That's like 50-50. We'll see what happens. I know they're saying that Justin Jefferson's got a twinked ankle or something, but I mean they're gonna come ready to fucking play. Like those guys are gonna come ready to play. And now there's a blueprint. Get after Kirk Cousins. He's gonna throw goofy fucking passes like he has for all of time. For all of time.
But it's more than that. It's like their defense, like their safeties look like they're like out there like drunk. Like it's like, what are you guys doing? Like they were just like wide open all damn day.
Well, I think that you saw the skill position players of like the Eagles really like there's a drastic difference between like, and I never thought I'd say this, but like the receiving core for the Eagles compared to like the Packers. So when they played the Packers have great corners and everything, but I mean Patrick Peterson's going to eat up some rookie from North Dakota State. He's going to eat him alive. But Patrick Peterson against an AJ Brown's going to get manhandled. Right, because he's not the same. We're not talking about, you know, all pro 2014 Patrick Peterson for the Cardinals. We're talking about like an aging Patrick Peterson who got ran down from behind by our punter on the field goal block. Yeah, like okay. He's just not what he was. So I think that you see what some of these skill players are able to do. There's just a drastic difference that they can't keep up. Eric Smith, they're really good safety. I mean, he's still really good at run support, but to sit there and say he was what he was 5 years ago, he's not that person anymore. It's the same with Anthony Barr, who's on the Cowboys. I said on a previous episode, if he was that good, he'd still be on the fucking Vikings, or he'd be on a team that's contending. That's why he was like literally just sitting out there on waivers. So I mean, the Vikings, I mean, they're kind of crumbling in a sense that if they don't like get it together, I don't know how long they keep Dalvin Cook. I don't know if they're able to re-sign Justin Jefferson. If like he has this historic thing, I mean, other than overpaying for him and then going out and getting another quarterback, but they're paying Kirk Cousins a shit ton of money. So they're kind of like
short term though, right?
Short term, but not really. Like Kirk Cousins is a G. He's super smart, man. He's made a shit ton of money, like a fuck ton of money. Whenever he came out, and then he was drafted. RG3 goes down. He gets what? He got a franchise tag twice. Then signed a 3-year, like $90 million, 100% guaranteed deal, and then rode that till the last year, and then added another $100 million deal on top of that on the back end. So I think he's still he's in like the second year of that, and it's like a 6-year extension, 116 million. That dude's made over like almost $400 million. The most
change.
That's why some of them people say like the most overpaid quarterback in all of football history is like he's like just overpaid. He's made so much money. Like Kirk Cousins in his career has made like 2 times as much as Romo. And Romo played for a while, but Romo was way more like consistent producing. I would say like you would assume he would make more. Romo was the highest paid quarterback in the league at one point.
Everybody is. It's whoever has the newest contract.
No, true, but I'm saying like they're kind of like have their hands tied to Kirk Cousins in so many ways. So they got to figure it out. But yeah, I think the Lions will just go smack them in the mouth. The Lions just want to smack everybody in the mouth every week. Where no matter who they're playing, they want to punch you in the mouth. So they can say, "See, we don't suck."
2.0 has got the Vikings, so.
Yeah. No, he's got Lions at Vikings.
That was a typo. I meant Vikings at the Lions.
Oh, okay. Well, he has it as a pick 'em.
No, yeah, the Lions are at the Vikings right now. I'm taking the Vikings in the teaser, though.
Okay. So I see what you did. I gotcha.
He didn't learn from his mistake last week with taking the Vikings.
Oh.
I think the Vikings bounce back here. They got a home game. It is a little worried with the Lions, but I think they'll be able to.
Are those home games though? Like if you're like the Vikings and you're playing the Packers, or the Lions and you're playing the Vikings, I feel like that's so close that it's like easy for them to traverse.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating to have to be putting money on the Lions because just historically that's a bad call.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This year does seem a little different, and the Vikings did really seem lost, like real bad in Philly.
Yeah.
A fun little fact here. So, if you look at like the home team's winning percentage over the last 15 years, every year it has gone down. Meaning that the home field advantage doesn't have the same impact that it used to 15 years ago.
100%.
There are teams you go to like the Chiefs Stadium, you got Bills Mafia, like even
Eagles.
Broncos Country. Like there are certain stadiums like they will have home field advantage, but for like the most part across the league, home field advantage doesn't really mean as much as it used to.
Yeah. Unless, if you're like, the Chiefs.
Like LA, like just it's meaningless. Like,
Well, and it's interesting because some of them you would say that the Browns have a home field advantage. They have very and the Browns suck, but they have like very dedicated fans. Or if the Browns were producing at a high level, that'd definitely be a home field advantage. Just as much as like Steelers like playing in like at Heinz Field would be a home field advantage for the Steelers. I think it's the same. But that whole division is kind of like that when you think, maybe not really the Bengals. I'd say the Bengals out of the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns, the Bengals probably have like the worst fan base and like just not showing up, right? But I would say the Ravens have home field advantage for sure. The Steelers most definitely do. And Cleveland, like they show the fuck up. They're trash, but they show the fuck up. But they're
what do they call it? What do they call it? Like the dog pound?
Dog pound.
Yeah. But the thing with the Steelers is those fans travel no matter what city.
Yeah, that's true.
So
they're traveling.
So when they're going into Baltimore, there's going to be a bunch of Steelers fans. When they're going into Cleveland, when they're going into Cincinnati, like you're going to have,
There's going to be all those terrible towels.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true, though. That makes sense. That makes sense. Or what is it? Barstool Sports, who had those Goodell as a clown towels that they passed out at that Pats game. Everyone was like spreading them around. That was fucking awesome.
Did you see Goodell and Bezos hanging out on the Thursday night game?
No.
Yeah, like because it was the first game that Amazon had.
Yeah.
Officially. Yeah, it was Bezos sitting next to Goodell, and then Bezos had his like girlfriend, on the side.
Yeah.
And like he's like they're like talking, and like she's like trying to like chime in. Like obviously we couldn't hear what they're saying. I'm just like, this is.
They had a lot. They had a lot of issues with their stream and people complaining about not being able to see it. I didn't see any major issues with it.
I didn't either. I thought it was great.
But it's football, man. Like it's football. It's Amazon. They'll do something where it'll be like, oh, we're doing. They'll throw some weird. I'm gonna launch my dick rocket ship from the 50-yard line at halftime. Like Bezos is gonna use that platform to do some weird shit, and they're probably gonna show like some pretty cool technology down the line, just because they got that Amazon money. So that's why, like, if there's gonna be more innovation in like Fox, and they're gonna, have something other than the same old fucks talking constantly about football, they're gonna need like cool new camera angles. And if anybody's gonna test the limits, it's gonna be Amazon as opposed to super traditionalist.
I thought it would be Peacock. I thought it'd be Peacock.
Peacock. Everything. They just, I guess that's like almost a monopoly. I'm like, they should just make one big, large, like just football network. But then I'm like, they already have that, or like one big streaming platform. And it's like, well, like that's defeats the purpose of like the free market. But
I don't know if 2.0 would remember this, but do you remember when the Patriots are about to go 16-0? On the last game of the season, and it was going to be on the NFL Network.
Yeah.
And Congress passed a fucking law, and then they broadcasted it on every single network. They're like, this is unfair. People don't have NFL Network, and they're not going to be able to witness this historic event of going undefeated. And then they put it on ABC, NBC, CBS, and all at the same time.
And they lost in the rain to the Giants. Heavy foreshadowing. And that was a playoff team that ended up playing all of their games on the road and went on a historic run and beat them. And I think that was the first time. I made a shit ton of money. That was the first time. That was the first time they beat them, and then they did it again.
Yeah, and I won money both times.
Fuck yeah, that's badass.
I made so much money on the Giants beating the Patriots. Woo.
Oh, I'm sure you did. That would have been like that was like one of the best moments ever.
I mean, the Eagles beating the Patriots was better, but
And then your upset pick. Sorry, we skipped your upset. What's your upset? Ooh, is that an upset?
It's not much of an upset. So it's the Falcons at the Seahawks. The Falcons are 1.5 point underdogs. So it's not a massive upset. It's damn near a pick 'em.
Yeah.
But I do really like the Falcons in this position. They are 0-2 right now, but have had 2 close games. They lost to the Saints 27-26. They were at the Rams last week, lost 31-27. I think this is their time to finally get over that hump and get their first win on the season. And
I like how we didn't mention that the Seahawks have the 12th man, like as like a home field advantage. But no, I think that should be in a lock. I think, yeah, I'm actually kind of mad at myself for not putting the Falcons in my 3-teamer.
Yeah. Almost like the Seahawks, and you tease that down. Or so you pick the Falcons and you tease them down to what would that be? 7
plus 7.5.
Well, so it'd be 7.5. Oh yeah, no, you couldn't tease it. Oh, it's either Seahawks. Is it Seahawks minus or Falcons plus? Is that what you're saying? It has to slide one way 6 points. So if it helped you, wouldn't you slide it? Couldn't you slide it down? Falcons minus 7.5.
It'd be plus 7.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think
it's like
could win by 2 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts doesn't have one yet. I think Pitts is going to go off. I'm just waiting for Pitts. I like Pitts.
I like him too, but I don't know. And can we stop calling him a tight end?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we can stop doing that. If Jimmy Graham didn't want to, don't call me a tight end, then I don't want tight end money. Then he's definitely not a tight end. He's just an amazing athlete overall, to be honest.
Yeah, but if you're gonna line him up like, in the slot or whatever they do, it's like, okay, well, he's not a tight end. Like, we're done here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Also, what's hilarious, what I do remember about the Jimmy Graham thing is like, I'm not a tight end, I'm a wide receiver. But his Twitter bio literally said Saints tight end.
And he changed it. He changed it. I remember he changed it because his agent was like, "Hey man, you got to change that. What are you doing?" And then it blew up in his face, and he was like mediocre. And like Jimmy Graham was good, but his best year once he left the Saints, it fell apart. Like you could make a case, it's like Marquise Colston for the Saints, like way more a product of the system than like his individual talent. Not that he wasn't talented, but the longevity when he left, it was like, no, like you have a quarterback that's really good at putting you in the right spot and knows better than you, and like calling audibles and Drew Brees and hot routes and like stick'ems here and stuff, changing all of this stuff in live in like real time to set you up. And whenever he went away from that and he went to Russell Wilson in Seattle, he played.
He was fine.
He was
fine,
okay, but he was not the same. He did not catch it the same rate. It was.
But
I
think it was. He was like. I think it was because he was like a broken man at that point.
Well,
like, I don't think.
Yeah,
I think Russell Wilson is just as legit as Drew Brees, especially back then.
Yes, but no, because I think the offensive system that Russell Wilson is in was relying a lot more on the run. That's why when you'd see like Rashard Penny's down or Chris Carson's down for those Seattle teams, when they would lose their running backs, like their offense would fall apart and they weren't really that competitive because they would never really have people on the outside to draw that extra. So like whenever Drew Brees is out there, it doesn't matter who's fucking playing receiver. It could be Devery Henderson on the outside, the shout out old school Saints player. It could be Marquise Colston, who really didn't do anything after he left, where like he sees the field so differently and they're so run heavy or pass heavy, like they use their pass game as the run game, that it makes it, especially with that last bit of Drew Brees on his noodle fucking arm, but he was so accurate that they could utilize that passing game. And so Jimmy Graham like was a beneficiary of it. I think Drew Brees would audible out of a run play and do a play action like pretty quickly, and I trust his judgment on making that call probably more than I would Russell Wilson's. And like and Jimmy Graham is like I'm the receiver. I'm not a tight end. I'm a receiver. And then he has a bunch of borderline people, and then a good slot guy in Tyler Lockett. But Tyler Lockett's not the best route runner. He just like gets deep. He gets open deep fast, right? Like he's not sitting there. Oh man, he had 12 catches for 129 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's like, no, he had 4 catches for 130 because he caught 2 50-yard bombs because he's just that fast. And Jimmy Graham couldn't get the separation or get that extra push from his quarterback, I feel like, to get that separation. As where Drew Brees will make anyone good.
I mean, I don't know. Like, Russell Wilson had some of his worst years when he had his best receivers, like Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Oh, yeah, and I guess to not shout out DK, because DK is a freak of an athlete, but you could see in, like, the lack of production, especially as he became more of a staple of the offense, and there's got to be some sort of leeway. Like, your offensive coordinator is radioing something in, and you're sitting there, and then they line up, and they reset, and they look, and you've got hot routes and other things that you can do, change the offensive scheme, audible to a run play, and at that point, like, it's not like he was putting DK Metcalf in the best positions to make a play. It was more like, oh, this is the offensive play, and if I can't get it, Russ is going to cook. Well, Russ has been cooking ramen noodles for the past, like, year and a half. And it's true, and because even last year, like, they struggled on offense, and DK Metcalf is a freak of an athlete. It's not like he didn't have people on the outside who could create the separation. I just don't think there's something lacking in the, like, overall quarterbacking ability of changing, like what we see Peyton Manning do, or Drew Brees, or why Tom Brady can play this long, or Aaron Rodgers, like having this ability to be like, nah, fuck that, we're changing this play. And that's something that made Carson Wentz really good, and he's still pretty good at it, like lining up and trying to make a decision. Now he tries to do goofy shit and he gets himself in trouble, but like when we went on our Super Bowl run, I mean, he was sitting up there like he was the fucking next coming of Peyton Manning, doing hot routes and changing stuff. And that's like a not saying that Russell Wilson's not smart, but I don't think he really fully developed that as understanding and being able to read the defenses. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I couldn't disagree more. I think he's like one of the smartest fucking players in the league, like quarterback or not. And I just have full disclosure, I'm biased. Like, I'm in this like League of Dorks 16-team dynasty fantasy league, and I won the very first year 12 years ago. And my very first rookie pick that we ever had was Russell Wilson, 32nd overall, when he was third string. And so I've just been riding the Russell Wilson like train from the jump.
He was like whenever he left NC State, shout out NCAA football, because if I still have it, and I'll smoke you again in it 2.0 anytime you want the smoke. Anytime you want the fucking smoke. I'm a troll. I was like going for 2-point conversions, like fake field goals and shit at the end of the game. But I felt really bad. Sarah was like, I think he's mad. I was like, I think he's pissed. Yeah,
is it more expensive now, like with the name and likeness?
Yeah, no, they don't even make it anymore. So the game.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so the game and I have it. It works. Like we play it. Like it works flawlessly. That game, I have the booklet and everything. It's open, but that game's probably worth like $200 right now. $250. It's a collector's item. Every year, every time football season comes back, the prices of it shoot the fuck up. People are
What was the last
2014. So it's
what?
Yeah, Denard Robinson on the cover.
For $325 right now on Amazon.
That is crazy.
And I have it. It works. It like still works. I play it like we played it, and it works flawlessly. I mean, I have a dynasty. I have a dynasty with Duke. True story. This is goofy. I started a dynasty with Duke way back in the day when I got it. Starting quarterback got hurt, and like the third string, fourth string quarterback who is a true freshman who is super duper fast. So I put him in. He became like the greatest quarterback of all time because it's NCAA football and you can do wild shit. It was Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is in NCAA football.
Okay. Guess who was the only other quarterback I've drafted as a rookie? I traded up to get him, Danny Jones. But no, I was gonna say, well, that hasn't really worked out for me. But I was like just trying to troll people. I'm like, he's the fastest fucking quarterback in this draft. Like, yeah, it's like maybe true. I don't know. But I was gonna say the last time I played NCAA, like my team was University of Texas, and it was Ramonce Taylor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out our team, baby.
Who's our boy?
I'd be playing. I'd be playing flag
football with NCAA who like every year go through every single team.
Oh yeah, and
create
update the
an
roster.
updated roster.
Yeah, oh yeah, they still do that. You can download them. We used to do that back in the day. You could download updated rosters, and they'd update stuff. Sticky used to do that back in the day for Madden. When I go over, he would download them on the computer, flash drive, and you could like plug it in and upload them. Sticky used to do that back in the day all the time. I was always perplexed how he was able to do that, and my mom was not letting me touch the computer, so I never had the opportunity to do it. But yeah, they do that. They still do that shit. And in that same time frame, so he ended up being the best quarterback ever, never won the Heisman, was a first round pick. So when he was a first round pick, I was like, holy shit. But in this universe, Johnny Manziel won the Heisman 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row, and I still play this dynasty, so it's like 2079 or something absurd, and I play every game, sit there and do the recruiting and do all that stuff. But yeah, that game's worth a shit ton of money now. It's like a collection,
2079,
something like that. Yeah, because then you get to a point where you just will play. Like sometimes I'll go in a rabbit hole and I'll be listening to like murder podcasts or something like that, or true crime shit, or watching Westworld, and I'll just sit here and lab on some fucking NCAA. It's almost therapeutic. When you sit there and you're just listening to me, it's like comforting. It's like comfort food, you know? Because you got the there's so many fight songs that I know strictly from playing NCAA football and the pause menu that like I know, like the Gators or Ohio State, or the South Lake Carroll Dragons fight song is actually the Wisconsin fight song. On You Badgers instead of On You Dragons, because they're all just like recycled songs. But yeah, like I mean, there's times where I'm like, oh yeah, like it just comforts the fuck out of me to play some NCAA. Every once in a while, I'll get an itch and I'll play it for like 4 months. That's like all I'll fucking play.
my mentor in the financial industry right now, he was the coach on the Wisconsin college team.
Yeah. Shout out. And Russell Wilson was the all-time leader in passing in ACC history whenever he graduated and then went to Wisconsin. So people forget he broke all of Phillip Rivers' records for the ACC and for NC State before anybody knew who he was, and he went and played for the Badgers. He was, a graduate transfer, so that was his 5th year of eligibility. But he's in like the Hall of Fame for like NC State, which is fucking wild. And not to say he's not talented, I just don't trust his decision making. There's nothing that he does where I'm like, man, he's just got command of the field. I've never been No, it'd be like, oh, Russ is cooking, and he'll do some stuff, and he'll run around and make some plays and do some of that and extend the play. But I've never been like, man, that was such a great call and audible and like decisive decision. I've never been like, man. But you would say that, and I hate Tom Brady, but Tom Brady does that. There's lots of quarterbacks I despise. I think it's where if Justin Herbert develops to that level, like, because Patrick Mahomes came into the league kind of at that, and when you throw in Andy Reid into the mix, it makes it really easy. Like, Andy Reid's really good for quarterbacks. If Justin Herbert figures that out on that level, he'll be absolutely unstoppable. He'd be because his ability to throw the ball is fantastic. Now, if he can change the play in real time and make the right decision, because based off of what he's seeing before he snaps the ball, that's just gonna make that's Justin Herbert's gonna go over the top. But
Herbert needs to like figure out that his tight end Everett was asking to come out of the game because he was tired, and they're like, no, stay here, and then they're like, quick snap it, and then try to throw to him. He's like, dude, I can barely even like run right now, like, and then what? Pick 6 to the house, like, it's just like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think you're like way underselling Russell Wilson's abilities here. Like, he's undersized and yada yada yada, but I think he's like literally like a fucking savant out there. Like, I think he is doing all the shit that you're saying he doesn't do.
No, I mean, I just don't. From what we've seen from him in the past like season and a half, like he hasn't been doing that. That's like what I'm saying is like, and what we've seen him do with the Broncos with better weapons than he had, a better running game with a stable of running backs, and we're seeing him miss like easy fucking passes. There was one where I can't remember who it was. I think it was Williams was standing. There was nobody within 2 letters. No, there was a defender within 2 letters in the end zone right in front of him, and he just doesn't see him. He's just like I feel like I think that his play is regressed, and like
his problem is he's not running anymore. Like, he's not like scrambling, and like that was a huge part of his game.
That's
like
what,
it opened up other he needs to be up in the kitchen like Fetty Wap cooking those pies with this baby.
Yeah, but I mean, you see, like, would you say that that Josh Allen now is better than any version of Russell Wilson we've ever seen? I would.
I'm not willing to go there.
I would say that
No.
I'd say that what we're seeing out of him now, the best, like what we're seeing from Josh Allen is like somebody who has all the intangibles, has all of the talent, has the size, and you can see since he came into the league to like what we saw the past 2 fucking weeks, what we've seen the Bills do is like his command of that offense and how he sees the field. The game moves so slow for Josh Allen right now that it's like it's absurd. It's like
Yeah, but Russell Wilson's been in 2 Super Bowls, won 1, and Josh Allen hasn't even sniffed one. So
yeah, I mean, but then I mean, you could make a case that Josh Allen, he sniffed at one last year and he's probably going to sniff at one this year because that defense, like Russell Wilson was not playing like Josh Allen's playing now whenever they were going to the Super Bowl. And whenever they decided to rely on him more on the offensive side of the ball, they lost that Super Bowl.
you mean like what? Throw the pass at like the 1 yard line?
Yeah. Whenever they leaned into him instead of what they tried to do, and literally, I mean, some people make a big deal out of it, but you could say like they're trying to change. They didn't want Marshawn Lynch to be the MVP, and they wanted it to be Russ. There's all those conspiracy theories about that shit. But at the end of the day, I mean, like the way what Josh Allen is playing right now as a quarterback, I mean, and we can disagree, but I think the level he's playing at, we've never seen Russell Wilson play at that level. Like that dominant on offense, we've never seen him do that. He's cooked and made his plays, and we've seen incredible games from him, but nothing like we've seen. Josh Allen is dominating these people, fucking dominating them.
I think you forget, bro. I think you're forgetting.
No, I'm remembering what I saw in the NFC Championship game. It's been so long since I saw that from Russ that there's no way that like I what we've seen from the game that they lost to go to the Super Bowl, where Josh Allen balled the fuck out, to what we saw from Week 1 against the Rams and get like smoking them, making plays everywhere, and then what we just saw where they're embarrassing teams. It wasn't even close. People were watching the Eagles games and they hate us just because that game was so fucking embarrassing that they just had they literally had to turn it off. I've never seen.
Yeah, but that's because the Titans suck. And okay, I'm not saying right now. I'm just saying Russ. There was a moment there where he was like the best fucking quarterback in the league, and everybody was like, "Yo, how the fuck is this dude so good?"
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you kind of.
He just doesn't. He's just not as like. He's not as built and like has like he's just a smaller guy. It's like Josh Allen, like it's 3rd and 3. He can just like tuck it and like just like pound it in. Like Russ couldn't do that, but he was like so elusive and crazy. Like I don't know, man. I think you're rewriting history here.
Well, I mean, only the season will tell. But no, I don't think I'm rewriting it because we've seen Russ play good, and play great. But what we're seeing from Josh Allen is like fucking crazy. Like if he stays on this path, like the way he's playing, and you remember, like, yeah, obviously, yes, they have Diggs, so they traded for Diggs, but they drafted Dawson Knox, they drafted all of those running backs. There's a lot of people on that Bills team that were drafted and not traded for, that they developed. Trey Edmonds, their safety, who looks like a fucking man beast, number 49, like, where... Yeah, I mean,
nobody wants to play in Buffalo. You better have to fucking draft him. It's like, what they got? What's his name from your Broncos and then the Rams?
Von Miller. Yeah, and he's been balling out, dude.
That might be their biggest free agent signing of all time.
I laughed when they signed him to that big fucking deal, and then you look at it now, and I'm like, well, maybe he's worth it because he's like all over the fucking place. Like,
he's loving life.
Oh yeah. Funny story, like I was in Denver, I was working for this restaurant group and we did this taste of the Broncos where we like all the Broncos show up, and he was there and he showed up like 3 hours late with like 9 publicists, made some paella for a second and ate it and then just like fucking dipped. It was the weirdest thing ever. And but Jamal Charles was there and that was funny. That was pretty funny.
Jamal Charles, backup to Ramonce Taylor.
Yeah, shout out. Well, because I knew JC from being in Austin. They would come and go to the bar and do all that shit, and they were friends with Ramonce and Myron and those boys. So it was like funny because he was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I was like, "Do you want some food?" But he first looked at me like, "Don't be telling stories about shit that I did." Like he looked at me like, "I know this motherfucker," and he seen me do some wild shit. But what happens in the bars stays in the bars. All right, so we got your picks in. We'll see how you do. I think we'll get a group chat going where we talk about how many units we're putting down on these bets. We're not financial advisors. Mr. Goody isn't yet, but he's on the cusp. He's a cusper, you know, and we're not advocating for everyone to dump tons of their money. So I think, if, you know, we tell them the picks, the lines, and then we'll discuss and make sure it's even on the money side. I just don't want to get in trouble. Twitch is like cracking down on people gambling. I don't want to tell people like, hey, you should bet $1,000 on this. I think we could get in trouble.
Oh yeah. We're not telling anybody to do it. We're just telling what we're doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So, well, I appreciate you guys coming on. I don't really have any extra topics. We're over 2 hours, so I'm probably just gonna. And
Yeah,
I would do a Dax diary.
I have to pee, bro.
Yeah, no, well, you guys are good. I appreciate y'all coming on. They'll be back next week. Make sure you check us out. Talk Show to Get Off the Pod Mondays, and then Joe's, you know, Mr. Pick'em, the robot guy. So Mr. Goody Goods picks versus 2.0's fleshlight robot. I don't know. I gotta come up with different types of robot.
Robot roulette.
Yeah. Oh, robot roulette. That's good. Okay, I see you, Goody. No, well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and we'll have you guys on next time. Really appreciate it. Stay out of trouble, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you.
Yeah, be good, you guys. Mr. Goody and Joseph 2.0 have left us. You know, I normally do Dak's diary at this point. Dak didn't play, and honestly, not really feeling it. I'm riding this Eagles wave. I just, you know, want to talk a little bit of shit for one more second. Yo, be leery. If this team plays good and we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to fuck all y'all up. You know, good picks coming in. Hopefully Joe quits losing my money. But no, we really appreciate you guys coming on, being a part of this, hanging out. Appreciate Paselic. Shout out Paselic. Fucking Paselic, amazing dude. And he actually worked for Little Guys after I did down the line. So that's crazy. Good fucking dude. So shout out Paselic. Appreciate you in the chat on Facebook. But yeah, you know, another show in the bag. It's been a lot of fun. Love having you guys come on. You know, make sure you watch the game tomorrow. Hopefully the Browns get smoked. Fuck the Browns and fuck the Cowboys. Fuck Mike Evans. Fuck the Bucks. Who else? Fuck Zeke. Fuck who else? I don't know. If you're not an Eagle right now, you can go fuck yourself because we're just cruising it. But like I said, I really appreciate you guys just tuning in. This has been a lot of fun. Episode 3, Suck My Tail Feathers, because birds for life, baby. Bird gang. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Number 3 in the bag. Angry Black Quarterback Podcast. Thank ya. Fuck you. Peace out. You guys be safe.